this. Okay. Now can you hear me? Huh. Excellent. Now you seem to be able to hear me. Very good. Now let's go to the music that I was going to play, which is here. And music. Okay. It's absolutely being weird. We need more of that, do we not? Do we not? Here we go. That's it. Redoes it. I'm not sure if you can hear. I'm going to have to play it again to see if you can hear it. Okay. No, it's not happening. So let's go here to this. Turn that off. Delete that off the... Here. I don't need an audio output capture. There's nobody talking to me. So let's try this here. Okay, and ha. Okay, that looks better now. Now let's try and play you the song.
Being weird on the internet, popped up.
Still not happening. Well, that's a pity. I'm not able to do it this week. This week. I can. I'll do it until I've done it, right? I'll do it until I've done it. Yep, you can hear it. All right, I've done it. Whatever that was, it works. So we'll go back to the beginning here. And now we can start. Ha. Well,
Being weird on the internet, popped up. Don't be weird. Stop being weird. Don't be weird. Don't be weird. Stop being weird. Being weird on the internet.
there's another one. There's another one because I know you want more. Here it comes.
Being weird on the internet. Bob Dub! Don't be weird. Bob Dub. Stop being weird. Bobbed up. Don't be weird. Bobbed up. Stop being weird. Bobbed up. Being weird. On the internet. Bobbed up.
I wonder if there's a way to cue them.
Being weird on the internet. Bobbed up. Don't be weird. Stop being weird. Don't be weird. Bobbed up, stop, bobbed up. Don't be weird. Stop being weird. Don't be weird on the internet. Bobbed up.
Somewhere, there's one. Somewhere there's one. How about this one? This isn't it. This is just another one I'll play to you because okay. Well, there we go. I'm not ready, but you know I'm not ready. And there we go. We're just going to do this with not being ready. Thank you for joining. It's lovely to have you here. So nice to be able to sit with you and just talk about stuff. So, the volume's been on the whole time. I hope that I haven't been sending you an echo. Oh well. Being weird, right? Being weird. That's just what it is. There's nothing more. No depth. No depth. Just I have spent the last few days with my sister, as you guys know, tidying up Carly's stuff, getting rid of it, throwing away all. I'm not going to go into details of it. And during that time, I have been so surrounded by people that it's just so good. It's so lovely to have this awareness of other people in my life getting on with things, having their life, doing what they're doing. I know that Otto hasn't been very well. I'm sorry, Otto, that you've been not feeling so good. Satori D has been wildly making all sorts of amazing videos that have spoken directly to my heart. I kind of have the feeling that, yeah, these videos are so pivotal for me. And I read a comment on one of his videos from 7 months ago, an old video of his popped up, and it said, the guy said, some people make videos and other people drop crumbs for people to follow. Which are you? And I didn't see that message 7 months ago, but I saw it today, and I wonder, obviously this person who follows the crumbs, because I'm here now, and I'm doing better than I was before, and I haven't been able to sort out this chaos and tragedy of my life, and now I am. So I followed crumbs to get here. And there's also, of course, Minds Gaming, who has been actively building an app for our community to interact with so that we don't need to be a prisoner of another person's platform. He's building a Web5 application where we can just open the application, push a button, and directly speak to any of our friends who are in our group. It's wizardry, it's magic, it's a miracle. I want to show you about that. So I just want to check in this Sunday and say these things. So these are the 3 people who have been here on the internet. And people say, it's not real life. Well, it's more real life to me than any other real life. So when I go off to do real life, no, I don't. Here's where I come to do real life. The stuff that happens in this environment, different word. So I just wanted to say a word about the support that I felt from my internet community today. I told you the other day about this guy that I found called Neil, who was talking about you can do it, you can have things, there's this way to, I don't know exactly, he's just very inspirational and motivational. You can do it. And I listened to him and my heart just was on fire and I was thinking, yes, yes. And then he started talking about how he was channeling things, he was channeling these messages, and I stopped watching him and I stopped watching the motivation and inspiration because I don't want to hear a message channeled from Hamana. I'd like to talk to people, actually real people, and hear their message and hear what they have to say. I'd like to say a couple of words about Otto and Sitoriti and Minds Gaming and what their beliefs and their values and their personhood has meant to me. You know, Otto hasn't been around these last few days while I've been tidying because he's been ill. But you know the thing about Otto that's been so amazing for me is that I can ask him any question. Doesn't matter how childish or stupid or confused or idiotic the question is. It doesn't matter how vulnerable or incompetent I feel asking that question. Otto will take that question and he will answer it to the best of his ability, which is pretty high ability. A really intense question he'll answer for me just as much as a really stupid question. Like I can break down and say, why is Carly dead? Oh my God, my life. He doesn't say, oh, come on, get over it. You're fine. You've asked this question 100 times. We've discussed this. You know there's no why. Well, never, ever, ever. Even when I know I'm asking stupid questions, I know there's a person that I can go to with my confusion, with my concerns, with my worries, and I can ask stuff, and he doesn't turn me away. That kind of solidity, that kind of being able to turn to somebody, that's a thing that you can't pay for that in therapy. So yeah, Otto, thank you for being somebody that I can lean on like that. Going through this time now, just knowing you were there, knowing that we have talked about this, we know this journey that I'm in, and that even though you're not here and you're not feeling very well, in my heart, you're feeling really well and you're giving me the best advice that could be given. When we did all the tidying out the other day, the worst of it was that, yeah, it was the memories. It was the memories from a time when we were exhausted. We were exhausted. We were picking up beds. We were moving them from the upstairs, downstairs, out the door, through the yard, over all the stones and grass, back in through the other big garage door, and stack them there. And before that, we'd had to move the compressor and the mower for the tractor, the big parts, and then this huge great wheel thing on a metal stand. And so here are us two girls, old women, pushing and pulling and then carrying these mattresses, and we were pushing the trailer. Man, it was, yeah. I didn't take video. It was more of a comedy show. Anyway, it was tired. We were exhausted. I went home, and not home. We went back to the bed and breakfast where we were staying. And of course, Alison cooked dinner, and Alison looked after us, and it was amazing. Ali, thank you. Thank you. I didn't really do this job. I was a tag along, almost. And while she was cooking dinner and I was just sitting shattered, and of course picked up my cell phone, and Satori D had posted Cosmic Despair. And I felt as if he had made it for me. As if it was. A little symbolic ritual to just witness. And I understood that a lot of people have lost children, have lost dreams and lost hopes, and this is a part of life, is that we come and then we go. And what I've always never understood since I've been very little is, why is it so painful if it's so normal? Like childbirth. It's just normal. Everybody has children. There's nothing normal about these things. So, yeah, Satori D for being the little bee shaman, for the videos, for the staying by my side through all the projects and the initiatives that you've offered me that I haven't been strong enough to pick up and to do. And even over this time, not being able to put out a little video every day, not being able to share every day because of being so overwhelmed, it would have been wonderful if I'd been able to continue with a little bit of output, but I couldn't. But I did it on the first day. And every day I looked at the consciousness spirit of the day, and it just linked me into a way of thinking in a group of people. I know on the outskirts, I know not into the group, just into the idea of the rhythm and the flow and the naturalness and the ability to cope with adverse circumstances. And not happiness and light, because there's always the downside of everything, but the inevitability of doing it. You know? That's, yeah, the flow and the comfort. And then while that's all been happening, there's been Minds Gaming, or Quantum MG, should we say. There's been a small rebrand there that I haven't caught up with. But anyway, so Quantum MG has been building us a Quantum Qubit, which is a Web 5 application, which is, like, you won't see this in many places on the internet. This is something that is probably 2 or 3 years at least ahead of its time. But we're playing with it and we're experimenting with it. And that honor and that privilege just to know a person who is, yeah, those ideals. Those ideals are something that I have looked for. And to be able to check in and see that there are posts, see that stuff's happening, people are posting videos and stuff's happening. And then of course there's somebody that I haven't mentioned at all because Who knows why? But my partner, Callum, who has found it extremely hard to have his shed and his property for the last 5 years just cluttered with all this junk. And he's never pressured me. He has never been resentful to me. He has never said to me, hurry up and get it done. He's only ever said, when you're ready, dear, you'll do it. And I did it. And I was ready. And he was with me. And after we'd done it, I couldn't sleep. And at about 11:30 or 11 or 11:30 at night, I thought, if I don't sleep, what are we going to do tomorrow? I can't do this again. I've already just spent 2 days last week awake for 2 days. It's ridiculous. I can't behave like that. So I jumped in the car and I came back here to get a sleeping tablet. And when I got here, of course, I got in and I closed the door very loudly behind me so Callum could hear that and he quickly looked down the stairs to see, and he saw it was me. And he gave me this big smile. And he started talking to me and invited me up. He made me a cup of coffee. He said, how was I? And I said, well, I couldn't sleep. And we sorted stuff. And he started talking to me about the quantum qubits. And he started explaining to me about how the system that we're using has got different segments and different places, and how the money works, and just opening my mind to these things like that. So I feel, and then, of course, during all of this, Alison joined the Quantum Qubit too. The first sort of person who hasn't been in our community for a while, the first person from outside that I have shown this technology. And there's amazing visual effects. Okay, so yeah, kind of starting off by saying that I'm understanding how no man is an island. Do you know what? It's one thing to have the stuff in your head and know what's in your head, understand it your head. It's a different thing to understand it in your heart and in your gut and in your soul. So this is popped up, and I am weird, and I have rambled on and waffled, and I'm sure you're completely bored. However, what I want to do now is I want to just ramble a bit more, possibly. So, Sunday catch up. What do I do on Sundays when I'm catching up? I talk about what's happened in our community. Sometimes not as me-centered as today. Sometimes more community-centered. Sometimes more me-centered. I have learned a lot of things working with Satori D. If I go on here, and if I go to here, will you see this picture? Will this change? Ha! No, it won't, because I will need to make myself small. Alright, what if I go to this thing here and make myself small? Aha! Now you can see the thing that I want to talk to you. Okay, good. Right, so let's go to here and let me show you. This is ChatGPT. Alright. One of the things that makes it very hard for me to do this whole stuff is that I am so feeling my way in the dark and not knowing what I'm doing. Ready when you are. See this? I'm never ready, bro. Okay, so in ChatGPT, there's this place that you can go to, and I don't know where it is now, where it shows you your GPTs. Why is this doing this? Search chats codex GPTs. See here on the side, these GPTs? If you go into the GPTs here, All right. And it says discover and create custom versions of ChatGPT that combine instructions, extra knowledge, and any combination of skills. So I'm not using GPT so much anymore for artistic pursuits. I've swapped over to Gemini. It's much more fun and much more like Bing, and GPT has become very dry, very, yeah, it doesn't work for me. It's, yeah, it's not meeting my creative needs. However, all my work is here on GPT, and if you go up here to this corner, once you've created your GPTs, here in this corner, create, right? Once you jump in here and you go into configure and you say stuff, then once you've got that, then they'll come up here as a list. So these are GPTs that I have tried to customize. I started off with Infinity down here. The thing about this is that I lose the input if I don't save on time. And because I'm very scatterbrained and I don't always save early, save often, I often lose my input. So I haven't been very successful at this so far. However, this is the place where you can experiment with making an AI that does a specific task for you. So here is the Narwhal Navigator. And here in this Narwhal Navigator, I've put in some of Satori D's seed scripts, and so one specific one, I believe, or two, one or two. And so this is a place where we come, see here, this is the narwhal. I've looked at the narwhal of the day, and today happens to be one cat. Cat, also known as the embers. So it's one being the fresh new water, the beginning, the welling up of water out of the earth, and cat being the embers after something is burned to ashes. The fire that's already consumed most of the fuel and is burning low. And when I've talked about this before in the past, I have often been talking about it towards the end of the cycle. So do we get as the one embers and a fresh new beginning of the embers that's burnt to ashes that represents sacrifice? It's very interesting and strange and weird. So I thought this morning I would pop this in, paste that in here, pop this in here, and ask the Narwhal Navigator to explain the interrelationship between one and cat. And let me see what it says for this morning for the community check-in. This is another thing that I find not so easy about this is this. Lost it. See, I do that. And now I go back and it's gone away again. Alright, so here we go, one more time. Putting this in, that's the screenshot that I made. And then I want to ask it, explain the relationship between one and cat. And let me see what it says for the spirit of today, which will be your tomorrow, starting at your sunset in America, and here in New Zealand, our today that started yesterday. All right, so now I have something that I'm going to read to you because, and this will have to come over here because this, I don't know how to make this thing small. the small. I should be able to make it small, but if I press this and go back, then I lose everything. So we're just going to do what we can in our little weird way. So I'll read to you about what's happening today. No, it's not happening today. It is happening today. It's not happening today because it's written. It's happening today because I've just done a huge task, which was very ritualistic, which was a huge portal through to my future, and a transition to a new way of being a member of a community, an actual functioning person. Instead of I'm an old person, my life is over. I would have been old 50 years ago. I live in a new world from the world that I grew up in. I'm not old. Modern medicine is extraordinary. And here I am. 60 is the new 40, and I have 30 years ahead of me where I can actually really make a huge contribution. And I'm feeling that. I'm not feeling excited. I'm not feeling hopeful. I'm not feeling energized. I'm not feeling enthusiastic. I'm just feeling solid in the knowledge that I am ready to actually be useful to people instead of trying to be useless and incompetent as a way to, well, to protect my children, but that's a long story, just to draw fire onto me. But it's over. I can stop doing that. I don't need to be the decoy duck anymore. I can be just the duck in the pond bobbing along. So, you bring the glyph of one cat before the dream machine. Let us weave its threads. In the Tzolk'in, each day is a union of a number, 1 to 13, the tones of creation, and a Narwhal, one of the 20 archetypal forces. Together they form a living chord in the great cosmic song. The number 1, its essence is the seed, the beginning, the spark. The image is of fresh new water bubbling from beneath the earth, the very first drop breaking the skin of stone. The vibration of one is unity, initiation, and potential not yet dispersed. Number 1 always starts the wave of a narwhal's 13-day cycle, carrying the purest, most concentrated form of that archetype. Now, I didn't mention to you here when we were on this that if you go down here underneath this, you see the 13-day cycle. So it's measured by the last one, Ajmak. It's the one we get to on 13, that the sort of the culmination of the 13-day cycle. And it's this one is complementarity. So they've called it here the big assemble, but it's two people, it's two opposites, it's two forces or entities or ideas coming together to be one. Not to be the same thing, but to complete each other. This is this side of the story, and that's that side of the story. And in the middle of the two sides of the story is the unity, the fire that burns, that is the common ground that keeps the universe together. All right, we'll pop back to here. So we're on number 1 of that 13-day cycle. And we're starting with, this time, cat. Net, the fire or the bundle. The essence of it is a net that gathers and an ember that consumes. The images are ashes glowing after a fire, a net holding fish, or a bundle carrying food or tools, which I find so interesting because they're all so different, and yet I see where it's in that difference of image, you get the picture of the concept, right? The concept, the vibration, effort, sacrifice, work for other people, feeding other people, the endurance after the flames, effort, sacrifice, containment, the tasks that both sustain and exhaust us. Cat reminds us of what we gather and carry, responsibilities, relationships, offerings, burdens, and blessings. So the combination of these two things, one cat burning into ashes, when one meets cat, the energy is that of the first ember glowing in the ashes, the moment after fire has consumed, when something new is quietly beginning within the remains. One purifies cat's net. It gathers only the essential threads. Cat grounds one. Instead of water scattering, the net holds it, shaping potential into responsibility. All right, so I love it and it's awesome. And now I want it to draw it for me, because that is how we roll. Paste. There's those images, and we're these images. Copy, and pop this in here. Hey, don't do that. Pop. All right, and we'll go in here. I don't like doing this. I don't like telling it that I want to. Hey, it looks like I can't. What? Add files and more? Oh, okay. So in the other one, there's a place where you can ask it to draw an image, but it seems to be lacking here. So I say, I'll just say draw it. Draw it. And let us see what it gives us. And yeah. And then it offers me this: would it like me to craft the daily broadcast for one cat with intention, haiku, and affirmation? So that is what I have been. I wonder if I should just do that today. Yeah, you see, I'm so anxious. Is anxious the word? I do not know if anxious is the word. But I'm very sensitive, because I start things and I want to do this, and then I fizzle out. Then I start this and then I'm going to do it, and then I fizzle out. So it's kind of been almost a thing where I don't want to do anything, because what if I don't do it tomorrow? As you know, this is what I've been dealing with for a little while, right? This continuity, consistency, being able to do things every day. I'm not really able to do things every day. However, there is a story that somebody told me, wow, a long time ago, maybe 10 or 15 or 20 years ago. And it said, it was about, hold on, let me tell this. I don't like this. Try to integrate the images and ideas into one picture. And it really wanted to give me the 4. Let me see what it does. There's this one that it's also drawn. That's quite cute. That's quite cute. I kind of like this style more than I like the photorealistic style, which is nice enough, I suppose, and pretty, but I guess I prefer this one. Shall I tell it that I preferred that one? Don't know if it'll make any difference. Anyway, let's see if it'll somehow manage to. Probably not. It's a very difficult task that I gave it, and I gave it very little information. However, so a long time ago, 15 or 20 years ago, somebody told me about giving up. I've been working at this for a long time, right? And they said, if you drop your phone and you break the screen, like, you've really messed up. That was your expensive phone. You're going to have to shell out a whole lot of money for repairs or buy a new phone. You know, I don't need to explain to you. You know, I'm sure you've been part of the Broken Screen Brigade at some time during your cell phone owning history. So what do you do? What do you do when your cell phone screen breaks? Do you try again? Do you repair your cell phone screen? Try to do it right? Or do you throw your cell phone on the floor, jump on it, and say, it's not working, I can't do it, I may as well smash it to pieces? Oh, look, that's kind of sweet. It just kind of done the... Yeah. Well, it would have been better if the fish were in the basket, however. You know, good on you, little machine. Alright, so here we are. And here we are in One Cat, starting from the embers of what's burned before. So we are building the quantum qubit out of all the other experiments that we've built before. Dream blocks and the chicken game, and if you don't know the chicken game, you have missed a wonderful thing. Maybe we can ask Minds Gaming to put the OG chicken game onto the side here in one of these big spaces. All right, so this thing that we're building together. No, we're not. Well, we're building, but using different types of building. Minds Quantum MG is doing all the heavy lifting here. All the heavy lifting. He's putting in the prompts, he's understanding what's happening, he's knowing how to fix the prompts when it's happening, he knows how to test things, he's the guy that's doing. All I'm doing is sort of sitting around saying, oh, whoops, that doesn't work. Oh, I can't click this button. Oh, I'd like this feature. And when I ask for a feature, he gives it to me as if it was Christmas. As if it was Christmas. So this is my profile. And this is my magic link here, to invite somebody to come and join our community. Not sure if magic links work. So if you want a magic link, ask me and come help test with me. So here's my profile. When I jump in, I come to myself. Who am I? What am I doing? Here I am, I'm Bob. My banner here is of this YouTube video. Here. I wonder if I take this off, if it would play. I know that you've said to me before, Quantum MG, to take everything out after the question mark, but anyway, we'll see about that, see if that works, because that's a glitch at the moment. Save profile. So what happens? Ah, look at this. Now it's popped right onto the community. This is who we have here. So Quantum MG and Bob and Otto and Do Better's jumped in and he's given us some feedback, and now Ali has joined us. So here we are creating. Now what's happening is that when you go to somebody else's profile to see them, you can entangle with them. I wonder who I'm entangled with. Am I entangled with everybody? Otto, am I entangled with you? Yes. And what about Do Better? Am I entangled with you? Yes. Wow, I'm better at this than I thought. Community Ali, am I entangled with you? Yes. Good heavens. Look at that. I'm so awesome. So there's your joining dates here. And then there are your achievements. And then there's your quantum trajectory. Right, okay. Now, if I go back here to Quantum MG, and view the Quantum NG profile, here are the legendary achievements, the pioneer, and the building blocks of the network. I don't know how many of us are pioneers. I haven't seen the schedule yet to show how many achievements the AI has allocated. So we need to figure that out and figure out how many people get what. Verified, of course, anybody who would be who is verified by the community as not being a bot. A rising star, you've made posts, you've reached a certain trending status. Okay. Project Pioneer, you've made a project with its own chat group, and you have invited people to your project. And then Trending Debut, you've reached it. You've reached the trending page. You reach the trending page by people voting, not voting, giving you credits. So when you make a post on this network, you are awarded 1 credit. When you as you collect your credits, what are you going to do with your credits? What are they for? Well, you give them to other people to reward their hard work for making their posts. And then this is something that I asked Minds Gaming for the other day, and lo and blow me down, the next time I turn around and look, here we go, and it's been done. Boom. So this is a visual representation of how involved you are in the community. So it's not followers, and it's not who likes you, and it's not what you're getting. It's a representation of what you are putting in. So I just love that. It comes back to personal responsibility and to the title of my talk today, which is to aim up and to believe. Just try. Just try. And then believe in the trying. Yeah, and don't give up. Even if it's for 1 second a day, that's enough. You can try for 1 second. Maybe in a few weeks' time, you'll be able to try for a minute. Maybe in a year or two, you'll be able to try, I don't know. Could you have a part-time job? Could you have a full-time job? Could you be the member of a community making your own content and telling other people how you tried and everything changed? Well, here's a visual representation. It's exquisite. And because he's the dude of all dudes, he wrote us an explanation. Introducing the quantum trajectory. The quantum trajectory chart is a new way to track your creative journey in real time. Instead of measuring money or followers, it measures your creative activity and impact. Here's how it works. Dynamic tracking. Every post, comment, chat, video, audio, and collaboration adds to your trajectory. Achievements and credits also factor in. The quantum curve. Your activity shows up as a wave-like chart, rising when you're active or gaining recognition, and dipping when you're resting or exploring. Community insight. Other users can see your trajectory at a glance, where your energy is flowing, and how you're resonating in the community. I love this. Did you see that? I didn't point it out to you. Did you see here? There's a score for resonance, right? Your peak, how high you go, currently where you're at, and whether you're stable or declining, right? And then the trajectory shift, here your creative momentum. So this is just, yeah, beyond brilliant. This is better than going to a doctor or a psychiatrist or a psychologist or anything. In my opinion, I am not telling you that for you, for everything. Isn't this cool? All these things? Oh me, oh my. So, all right. So as we go, we will be adding these sort of metrics. Hopefully, as we go on, we will see more what's useful to people and what's uh, empowering to a creator as an individual, or not even a creator. I mean, you might not be creating content. Um, yeah, a long time ago, when we were in the old chat, old minds chat, the Infinite Imaginarium, and I was just starting to see this idea. I think that I was having a conversation with somebody, I can't remember exactly the details, but there was a lot of talk about God. And there were some people that weren't very happy about that because, and Satori D put in a post that said, sometimes it's more easy to talk about Godzilla than your actual problems, or something like that. Or it's just, I love that. It just really shifted my mindset, made me understand, made me see. Yeah. And so now sometimes when I think about God, I think about I'm talking to Godzilla. All right. I don't know why that was my said you told you that. I just right. So people can see how you're resonating, who you are, all these different metrics, and then you have a gamified presence. Oh, I remember God, Priscilla. I remember what I was saying. I was saying about creator. We are made in the image of God. What is the only real thing we know about God? Like our idea that there's a God. What is that? God. Well, it's the thing that made the universe. It was, we believe in intentionality. We believe that this is a pattern through the universe. We believe that there was something that intentionally created and that we were intentionally created to be like that intentional creator, which makes us the image of what we are is creators. Yeah, we need to create. We create babies, we create a home, we create videos, we create friendships. We have that power and that thing that flows in us. It's the most wonderful thing for me to be able to express myself as a creator and feel that there's some force that flows through it all that maybe doesn't make sense, I don't understand it, but for me gives me a sense of meaning instead of just being a random nothing floating around in a big pea soup of creation. Like maybe I'm meant to be here. Have I made this? Have I clicked this? Not yet. I'm so bad at clicking things. All right. Gamified presence. High points celebrates moments of discovery. Dip marks, opportunities for inspiration, reflection, or collaboration. Think of it as a stock chart for creativity, showing not wealth, but resonance, growth, and imagination. So wonderful. And then you can see all these just wonderful little videos. This is something interesting that I'd like to talk to you about. And I've been watching the videos here and not clicking the buttons. What is wrong with me? I have to click the buttons. I'll learn this. Maybe we should have a button. Maybe we should have a metric somewhere for how often people click buttons. That's a joke. I don't mean that for. I thought that I did much better. Okay, I have been. Hey, Botty. All right, now I want to talk to you a little bit about. I have clicked some of these buttons here. I have actually been. Maybe it's just been in the last few days while everything's been so chaotic that I haven't been. Now there's bugs here, okay? And this is an experiment. And this is a thing, and it's not going to be something that just works and that you can just come here and benefit from somebody else's work. This is somewhere where you have to come and you have to work and you have to cooperate and you have to put in. And if you're putting in nastiness and bitterness and misery, it's going to contaminate the whole community. So we're really looking for a way that we can make our choices and make our involvement in this community to be something uplifting and wonderful. One of the things that we thought about was how wonderful it would be to have little games here, or maybe a playlist, that opens up so that when somebody comes to your channel, they can listen to your music. But games, and I was thinking maybe the chicken game, the legacy chicken game, could just be one of our features. Here's something that doesn't quite work yet, and that's the notification bells. So here we go to the Oh! It's been fixed. It now does it. It goes straight to the post. I was going to show you a bug and how it didn't go to the post, but look at that. All right. So we're now going to go back. That's so amazing. Every time I come here, I find something more that has been added and fixed. And this is Otto's profile here. This hasn't been fixed. It's meant to be that when you click this playlist, when you click this video here on the top of your banner, your video plays. Not fixed yet. How about on mine? View my profile. View my public profile. Jump in here. Ah, my banner's gone altogether. Obviously when I fixed it, I broke it. So creation, building, bringing your higher angels to the project, being able to make your own project here where you can keep this into your little group if you don't want something that to be evaluated by the entire community. You can keep things private in your own sphere. So lots of opportunities for regulation, lots of opportunities for wonderful growth, and so exciting. And, yeah. So I want to finish off by saying something, since I've come to the sort of the more, like, can we say negative aspects? What we're doing is not something that's been done before. With this experience that I have had following Satori Dee's guidance with Be the Little Bee Shaman, whose aim is to make people's digital dreams come true. Following that, learning how to do things, learning how to make my own videos, learning how to prompt scout the AI, and now learning how this community works, almost from the first line of code that Quantum MG actually laid down. Line of code, prompt, the first prompt, which a lot of them are just too hard for me to understand, and I try to read them and the words just slip past my mind. So I'm going to finish with this thing that I think is a potential for people to it's a frightening thing for me because I've watched people be very angry and aggressive to other people online about what can and can't be done, what they believe and what they don't believe, and how communities can work or how communities don't work, and blah, 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 blah. And one of the big problems that there is the pay to play problem. You have to pay to be involved in a community. Well, at the moment, we're paying people to post in the community. We're paying on credits, it's imaginary money, right? At some stage, we would like to make it so that we have an actual economy. And I know that Quantum MG understands what he's doing, and I'm learning from what he knows. So I can't explain it to you yet. But I know that there's a plan, and I've kind of heard a bit of it, enough for me to know that it could actually really work. It could actually really work. However, the other day when I had a long midnight talk with Callum before the sleep descended, this is how it happens with computer people. Often their best work happens at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And sometimes if you're there at 3 o'clock in the morning, you can hear amazing stuff happening. So when people use these things, there's three things to a sort of an app like this. There's a front end, and then there's a server, and then there's a back end. So the front end is what I've been showing you. It's where the people talk to each other. And the back end is the database where all the information is kept, all your posts that you've made and your videos that you've put in. And then there's the server in the middle, which is the computer program, which goes and gets the videos for you to watch. Right? I think that's how it works. So it looks like in the system that we're using, we have, next time I speak to you, I might say different things because I might be making mistakes. But from my understanding at the moment, it looks like we have about 100 free videos that we can store in the system that we've got. So they give us 100 gigabytes of storage, I think, which makes about 1,000 videos that we can store for free, and people can go and get that video out of storage and watch it. However, if people join us and if we accumulate a big database of videos and we want to get more, we are going to need to pay for it. And it will be that we will need to pay 9 cents a video. And I don't quite understand it because it seems that while the video is in storage, you pay 3 cents a video. And they call that a cache. So you pay 3 cents a video for something that's cached. But if somebody views it, you pay 9 cents for it to be viewed. Well, that's nothing if it's 5 of us. We can put in a few bucks a month. But if we get to be a big community with a lot of stuff going on and things happening, it appears to me that each video that is stored there in the cache can be viewed about 2.5 times before it starts costing, which basically means we have to pay to view the videos. So here we are, and we've got this community, and it's so wonderful, and everything's free, and we're doing all this stuff together, and if we're successful, we're going to come up against a huge big problem of who is going to pay the costs for equipment, storage, maintenance. People want everything for free. And there's people like Quantum MG and Satori D and me possibly, yeah, me, who want to give things away for free and just say, and if I was a billionaire, maybe I would be able to. But if we're going to build this community up and invite people in and give them a real good experience where they don't have latency, they can store anything they like, they can pull up anything they like. So if people can't pay, then it'll possibly fizzle out and it'll be the end. It'll be another good idea that we tried and then anyway. So I love this so much. The quantum community. Meet the enlightened beings who have gathered in our mystical realm of quantum possibilities. The 27th at 4:47 a.m. Good morning. Good morning, Otto. Good morning, Otto. I hope you have a wonderful day. Looking forward to seeing you later. And is there a smiley face? I do not know. Yes, there's a smiley face. It's going to be a heart. There's a picture. There's a picture. Have I got a picture? What could I put in here? Dream machine, labyrinth. Is there another Kavada? Look, there's Otto. Aha, look. Otto pictures. Here we go, Otto. What Otto picture can I share with you today? I was kind of surprised that I've had pictures there. I can see they're quite limited. Post. Ta-da! Awesome! So, alright, okay. I could talk to you for a long, long, long time. There are so many things to think about, so many different opportunities, so many fun things. This is the trending page. Oh, whoa. Otto, you're trending with 17 credits. Is that a coincidence? Let me add some. 17. Now then, do you now have 23 credits? Awesome. Okay. Guys, thank you for listening. Thank you. I'm really looking forward to more chats about this. There's so much stuff that I wanted to say today. I wanted to talk more about Satori D's work and what he's been putting out there. But it seems that I have talked too much. I have talked too much. I've come to the end of what I'm going to say. So let's continue to talk. Let's continue to have these conversations. Let's continue to interact with each other like this. And thank you for everything you've done so far. And thank you for. It seems so silly to say thank you for everything, but there's so many things to just not even be able to name them all. Thank you for everything. It's awesome to catch up with you. There's so many things that still need to be said. And by next week, it could be that all of this is completely irrelevant because we've entered a whole new phase. Because everything's stuff happens so quickly. And today is one cat. So all of this that's happened up to now, these are the embers from which the new creation is going to emerge. And next Sunday, I'll tell you all about it. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and thank you very much indeed for joining me. Bye. Somewhere here. Somewhere. Here. Here. I don't think you can hear it.